However, the poor army guys that survived, 2 salvos on full auto from Duncan's gun, the dice were not nice.
We rolled horrible that entire game.
It's this dice tray. I've been told
Maybe.
3 different groups.
I can get here. You want to take the other one that I made?
No,
Just
I
take
want
that.
the evil dice tray.
I have more.
Because this dice tray has more Imperial than Rebels. It causes it to roll strictly evil.
Though I
On the
do
bright
want
side, we
to
have
take
this
it back
one to
and,
play with.
which is I have.
Which
one.
hasn't even
nice.
been christened yet.
No, it hasn't.
I also have
brand
one
new
of
dice
flame
Here's how we christen it.
and
Full
Dungeon
despair.
These
Child.
little ones.
And despair.
And
He's just getting it out
despair.
now.
Okay,
Yeah, but
I
mine has a
think-
triumph.
I think I accidentally took dice home that weren't mine.
Probably that bright yellow one, the pale yellow one there.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's not a problem. We got plenty of dice. So, episode 15 of Airship Gallivant. You got the ether bomb tied to the rope. You're getting ready to pull out of the docks. Somebody dropped last second on the pilot of the ship that the bomb is connected to the ship. Remember, there was a whole what?
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Actually, let us recap. You were supposed to disarm the bomb, not bring it aboard.
I can try
Yeah.
and disarm it. I mean, we still have it left. I can try and disarm it.
Wait.
I just don't want it on the goddamn. I don't want it gone. I want it literally anywhere except for the place it currently is.
That'll happen if it explodes.
Just give it about 3 more minutes. It'll be everywhere and
I
nowhere
can
all
try
at
and
the
disarm
same time.
You guys want me to try and disarm it?
You want
Yes.
Okay. What would it be against?
Okay, so currently the airship is starting to move out. The rope
Okay.
is being
Gonna
pulled
tell him
tight.
to stop.
Okay, so you're yelling at him to stop.
I stopped as soon as I heard.
The ether bomb is connected to the airship. Okay, so you're immediately gonna
The
run
ether
down
bomb's
there.
connected to the airship.
Now immediately you think, I'm gonna disarm the bomb. And then you stop the second you look down where the rope, the cable is connected to the box. It is covered in the foam.
Yeah.
It is covered by the rope.
Yeah.
And you're realizing that you made really good sealant foam for this box.
Fuck.
Okay. Can you remotely disarm the bomb?
Yes.
Do I hear this? Do I hear that exchange?
Are you guys still up at the deck, or did you go down to the cargo hold?
I'll follow wherever you say.
Okay, let's go down to the cargo.
Okay, so you guys are following, and she's grabbing her tool belt.
You have your goggles.
Yes.
Give them to him.
Yes.
He sees like that.
Okay.
Okay, so you're putting on the goggles.
Okay,
You
so do
see-
you know anything about how bombs work?
I mean, in theory, I know how magic works and how magic explodes. So maybe not necessarily. I don't know how
With
machine bombs
tentacles.
work, but I certainly know how ether works.
Okay, you're going to give him more details, but the rough thing is that there's going to be like a clock thing in there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, the clock thing is going to be connected to a boom thing.
Okay.
That's its real
And
word.
that's a technical term there.
You're going to
Highly
want
technical.
to disconnect the clock thing from the boom thing.
I can disconnect the boom thing by consuming it.
Highly don't recommend.
Actually, that's probably the safest thing.
Now, if you can actually drain all of the ether from the boom thing, that might work as well, but I don't know.
Like being 100% honest.
No,
probably the safest
it's,
thing I can
it
think
sounds crazy, but it also sounds
of. Crazy.
rational.
No, it certainly doesn't sound that.
No,
It
like
sounds totally
like
like
draining
a
the power,
pseudoscience.
draining the power from the ether bomb. It'll disarm the bomb without need to worry about it getting jostled and exploding on us on accident.
No, but we'll have to worry about you getting
To the
off
ether
with
man
exploding on
says.
us.
You know, just it all will disappear and become part of the ship, and then it'll be like Poltergeist, but fun.
So immediately you are slapping on her goggles, and when you look, you're seeing this weird, muted. Apparently, her force field stuff really did its job. It's muting what you're seeing, but you're seeing like heartbeat pulses of ether going through whatever's inside this case, and then like someone's got a blinding lighthouse light muted with polarized glass, muting whatever glow is in there that's immensely, hugely, quantumly, etherly powerful. Big thing is, the really cool foam force field stuff is blocking pretty much everything.
Good news is that your foam thing is actually doing its job.
Wait a minute, did you just say quantumly? Don't observe it, it'll collapse.
If you look at it, it's shy.
It tastes
It's
strange.
shy.
It's shy.
It tastes purple.
With a hint of rouge.
So, we're doing this in this populated area, right?
I mean, I'm not taking it anywhere.
And of course, there's sirens and lights going outside, people zipping off in little vehicles evacuating because there's some gun-toting maniac out there.
Yeah.
And
That's
word of a
awesome.
bomb.
Tried to kill
Something
Peter.
about bomb. Oh yeah, and Peter wants to leave and not stay parked, by the way.
Actually, we're taking care of this first.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, well, I guess we could remove the foam and I could try and disarm it.
what do we know?
No offense, but even if you remove the foam, there's still the casing and all of the things inside.
What do we know about ether bombs? Like, are they mechanical or are they primarily magical?
The only thing that you actually know, especially from Quintessence, you know, where the ether bomb was set off at the end of the war, you know that it's made by a bunch of mad scientists, not ethermancers. And it's purely a mechanical harnessing of ether that shouldn't work in theory.
I want to use my psychicness on it and find out if it has a consciousness or if it's thinking about things, because this would be alarming.
What is just contemplating the nature of the universe?
I mean,
and
it's
position
mechanical
of
and it's magical at this point. What do you think that there's
It
odds that
believes
there's
it's-
some type of psychicness to
So
it?
he thinks it's a flower pot.
I was like, oh no, not again! I had the exact same thought!
So it's actually constipated once you leave.
Oh yeah.
All bottled up.
Oh no.
Can't really.
Doesn't have a consciousness. It's like, I feel like there's a Star Trek movie about this.
Mm,
So go ahead and give me your ethermancy then.
okay.
So you're trying to contact it.
The psychicness would be discipline.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you prefer discipline or the ethermancy? I think they're both.
I'm
the
good
same.
with discipline.
Get your.
I need to buy a new die. My bag got stolen.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And apparently the notebook that I was looking for, that I had like 15 of, is only a seasonal item, so that's great.
Oh.
It's fine. I have one more to do. And what am I rolling
It's
against?
going to be against 4 purple.
Oh, that's fine.
As you're reaching out into the ether inside the ether bomb. And you're saying there's something
nothing bad can
reaches
happen
back.
to me. Nothing bad can happen to me?
Ah, there you go. Let's go ahead and upgrade one of those purple to a red. Now it's all your
That's
guys'
right.
fate points there. Destiny's on your side.
Yeah. It's succeeded with not that much threat, actually, with one threat.
One threat. So
Yeah,
it's simply
3 success and a
a
threat.
point of strain on top of the strain you're taking there. So you reach out to it immediately as you tweak into it. You're sensing that there is almost like a driving life force inside
Of course. Oh my god, it's gonna be a space jellyfish.
that there seems to be some kind of release of some ether that doesn't belong here. It's almost like someone reached into the ether and snatched some ether out from the
Dark
other
ether.
side,
Yes.
put it inside a bomb that should not exist. And you're sensing that it's old, and all of a sudden, you know, you're getting this vision of this crazy coot working on this pile of parts to put the parts together, and basically goes over and taps some poor young girl who's like strapped into some like cables and things, and she's like doing something that's got this like Tesla coil that's like filling up this tube with ether between them as the Tesla coil is zapping. Little bits of ether are starting to coalesce inside this tube.
Don't worry about what you're seeing. That's just Uncle Jim James.
First date.
Perfect.
Everyone's been on a first date. We all know how first dates work.
The first is always the worst.
Okay, this sounds wonderful.
And you're realizing as he's working on the bomb, he keeps looking up, pushing his glass up, looking at the person that's obviously not there of their own accord, making the ether. And you can just see in his eyes, as all of a sudden you look and you see the ether is affecting his mind. And his mind is being
Not in a good way.
changed by the presence of the ether.
This happens sometimes.
This is why the ether
Sometimes.
mancers say avoid, these guys with their ether tech. Can't be good for an unprotected mind.
Yeah, that's the mutated guy over here is like, that's unhealthy for you.
Tentacles.
Tentacles.
He's got the tentacle Tourette's.
Ionizing radiation, man.
And now we're playing Gamma World.
Yeah, the world.
Roll for mutation.
Depends on how badly this goes. We could go Dark Sun.
Oh, you need to roll a new character for that. This translates perfectly well.
Don't worry, you're point blank when the ether bomb goes off, you're probably immortal now.
Alright.
Or
You just turn bright fuchsia pink and turn into the Hulk.
That's not a problem.
no, that's I can work with that.
Can I identify whose perspective I'm kind of absorbing? Is it the scientists? Or is it the girls?
The
It's
narrators.
actually
It's the
something
hormones.
from the ether that is observing this going on. You're sensing a very powerful ether presence. That's just like
Do they have discernible feelings about what's going on? Because that's something I can do.
you actually are getting the feeling of yes, my pretty, yes, unleash the ether on this world. Yes.
What's the
Jim Jakes.
downside of unleashing the ether on this world?
Well, it did decimate a huge tract of the world.
Quintessence.
It created a floating magical city. It created ethermancers.
Listen.
I'm seeing no downsides.
I just don't want to be in the immediate vicinity when it happens.
What is the
I don't
nearest
really care if it
country
happens.
that we are not friendly with?
Russia.
Russia.
Really?
I think you about that.
But we don't have enough time to get there.
We don't necessarily have
Well,
to get there.
like, where are Russia's borders in this universe? Because Russia's borders
Because
have
we're right over what
fluctuated
used to
quite
be.
far.
We're right
because
over what used to be Budapest.
Yeah, we're in Budapest. We're realistically not that far from Russia
No,
in
you-
certain historical periods.
No, that's absolutely correct. And depending on how opportunistic Russia was
For
feeling at
example,
the time.
Russia probably has Crimea,
yeah,
which is
it's-
really close.
yeah,
Oh, so we're playing in 2018. Okay.
yeah.
But
No,
On the
2018, 1910,
1918.
1890 something. Yeah.
okay,
The Crimean War.
I'm not getting the impression that the girl is inside this bomb.
No, you're getting the
Okay.
idea that she was horribly, horribly mistreated to create the ether that started the spark that became
She
this
was the
ether.
cat.
Wait, you can do that? I haven't-
I need 14 virgins.
I don't know what you
And a
think I've
Tesla
been
coil.
doing to you.
Yeah.
But if you think about it in the context of torturing someone so that they create a better dark matter bomb, it should make sense. I have a terrible idea.
Okay.
So do I.
This scares me so much.
It should.
I don't want this bomb to blow up with me here, and I actually like Quintessence, so I prefer Quintessence not to be destroyed.
I'm with him on everything so far. Let's see how
what
long that
I
lasts.
want to do is discharge this bomb in a ray form. Like I
We're
want a
inside
Death
a
Star.
city.
He wants to
We're
create,
inside
yeah.
a
I want to.
Yeah, but we're on the outskirts of the city,
But
alright?
no.
We just pick a direction.
No, kind of like we just
Gone.
want to get far enough away to have a cardinal. I mean, maybe it'll hit something in the
Okay,
storm, but it'll
we're
probably cut
in-
through the storm.
We're in a cargo bay. The cargo bay doors are open to the air. Following what I do know a little bit of astrogation, what's in the straight line?
Pretty much.
Maelstrom.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, well, the maelstrom's there, but I imagine that.
But like, what compass directions?
If anything happens, what I'm actually imagining of this is that there's going to be this very stable sphere through the maelstrom. That's just going to be like, calm.
As you get SDF-1 cannon cloud dispersion.
At this point, I've come down to the cargo bay, and if we're discussing this, we're discussing this.
Okay, so
I don't know.
Wait.
I don't know if you're
What
discussing
happens?
it so bad.
What happens if this chaos beam hits the maelstrom?
That's a good question. But do you know what happens if this bomb goes off when we're right next to it? Because I do. That one I have the answer to. So unless you have a better, because I would love to consume it and gain its power. That's not what's gonna happen if I do it.
and that's when you get
too much power.
Skeletor.
Instead, you will consume it, and it will gain your power.
Yeah, like
Okay, so what you're saying is that there's no way you can deactivate it.
there probably is, but I think that the safest way of doing it is draining that power cell in a straight line. And if we can do it to help our cause in some small way, rather than just blowing up Norway.
Well, like, if we fire it dead straight north, what's like St. Petersburg is pretty close to dead straight north.
We have an opening in the city.
What if I fired at the
What
sun?
is beyond the
No.
maelstrom in that
No.
direction?
Pretty much
No.
curve
No.
of the Earth, the maelstrom, the curve of the Earth, and he could probably try to aim it upish as opposed to earthish.
Right, curve of the earth, but like, does ether like
We're
do
also
the four forces act on ether?
Do you know what?
Gravity, electromagnetism.
Gravity does
we-
affect ether.
We are
So
going to
it'll-
learn about
it'll arc.
ethereal physics a lot, so
We-
take notes.
so
There's some.
it's going to be your ethermancy pool.
We're all gonna have tenure in quintessence after this. It's gonna become Harry Potter and it's gonna be great.
So this is gonna,
Wait,
This
one
is
last
gonna-
thing. Our ship isn't in between the bomb and the.
basically your airship has the bomb tethered to it. So
Yeah.
he's
The
in the
airship's
ship looking at the bomb, probably gonna blow a hole through your cargo hole.
Which again, better than the alternative.
No, we're not
So-
gonna
I mean,
do that.
exploding.
So this is gonna require 2 rolls.
Yes, excellent.
Get
One
off the ship
to
before you
suck
do
the
this.
ether out. It may not deactivate the bomb, but at least buy you time.
Yes.
And then another to safely cast the energy away.
Through
When
the
they
open,
s-
through the open cargo door, not hitting the ship.
We hope.
We hope that's the plan. No. That is the plan.
Do-
Whether the plan hits
Do I have
or
a
not,
general
is up to the
idea of
dice.
how long it will take this bomb to explode?
With the goggles on, you sense that it's powering up, and it's going to be like 2 minutes before it explodes.
We can have 1 minute of getting the fuck in a direction that you want to go and landing
That's
somewhere.
not
but-
enough. It's
no.
half an hour to get through the maelstrom.
Well, not through the maelstrom. I'm just saying, like, get to the edge of the city
Yeah.
We are at the edge of the city.
because
We're at the open cargo bay. You can't get more edge and
Okay.
still be standing in the city.
all right. Well, let's try this.
Okay.
So wait, hold on. So the aether in the bomb is contained by some mixture of mechanical and alchemical work.
Mhm.
Obviously, our engines function on much the same principle.
Kinda, yeah.
There has to be something in the engine that directionalizes the aether.
Well,
for
we've got
propulsion.
her.
But do we? But
Wait.
here's the thing.
She invented a sucker pointer before.
But the thing is, what your engine runs off
Yeah.
is a little bit of ether in a jar that basically gets excited and makes power.
Right.
This is the dark matter version of that.
Well, no, it's a nuclear bomb versus a nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
But I'm trying not to blow up the ship because I think she
Thank
would be
you.
very unhappy.
I would.
We would all be very
So I think I would be better off nuking myself than inspiring her to be angry at me.
Has
Now
about the
you
same
do
results.
know doing this while the airship's moving with the box swing will be even more difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so could we land the box?
Yes, on a pier of
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
Within
a couple minutes.
Yeah.
no, not a couple minutes.
Now.
Quickly.
Within like 30 seconds
Within
to
like
40
30
seconds.
Okay, so
That
let's do
sounds
that.
All right,
Okay,
I'll-
let's see
I'll
how
run
well
back
our
up-
pilot can do that.
I'll run up to the bridge and try to set the box down, probably close to the edge of the door, so it's
Okay, so it's
Basically
gonna be
on the
3 purple and a black. Since you are like without clearance, you're basically like, move out of the way, people!
Move!
As the box is being scraped behind you guys.
How much do you wish you had extra eyes right now?
I feel like I
Open up the
probably
bombs.
don't need them.
Okay, so wait, we want one of those.
Yeah, we
Okay,
might as well start
okay.
flipping them. We've got them to spend.
You've got 5 to spend.
And it is boring if he doesn't get to flip some stuff.
Aw, thank you.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
You did it. You done
Oh,
did
man.
Yeah.
You totally.
Okay.
That's 4
So
successes.
you are finding a very nice perch
And
to basically twist the ship so the box, if he wants, he can get outside the airship to do this.
Hello.
So that way it's the box, the rope, the airship is out of the way, and
So-
you're seeing the maelstrom.
So what did you actually get? And do we get any extra dice for the next roll?
That's a very
I
smart
only got
question.
1 advantage, so.
Okay, so you basically have this skyline view of the maelstrom. You're getting the feels. This reminds you of when you were young. Aether man
Trying to blow up the world.
So
And
you
still
did
trying, aren't
you?
you?
did get at least 1 blue for the goggles.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
I'll take that.
And it's going to be 1 black because her great insulating foam doesn't want you to do anything.
No, of course not.
Another
Is that shield
black.
still active?
Yeah,
It's physical. You can't turn it off.
she made it like crash foam.
Physical.
And then another one because the ether bomb doesn't want to give up its quintessence. And it's going to be against 4 purple.
Make your
As you
I'm
are
upgrading
pulling
you
a
to
Spock here. Or a Kirk, depending on
Can I
which
give,
movie.
since I've got primal, can I give him an extra blue?
So you're going to be helping him in case something bad happens?
In case.
Will that help?
You'll probably.
Okay.
You come up behind him and you're like, you can do it, champ. So how are you assisting him when he's doing this?
I am helping him focus the energy to Rocco and distraction.
Okay, so you're giving him some...
He's watching like the whatever force projection I'm doing, and he's taking care of flare-ups. He's like, no,
Okay.
no.
And you're like, I'm amazed. I didn't know I could do this. Okay.
All right.
And Giggles, let's go ahead and turn one of those.
We
I
already
already flipped
climbed
one.
one up to a
Is that
yellow.
how- As you reach into the box and you're pulling the ether out forcibly, and you're seeing with your goggles the capacitor is draining. It's still got a small sun inside it, but the capacitor that's been charging up for the discharge is slowly being sucked out into your body.
Yahtzee.
I triumph. Woo! So,
And maybe a threat? No, not even that. It's just triumph and successes.
How many successes?
yeah, you're right.
2.
Triumph. Well, showing a triumph, a success, and an advantage.
Nice. So immediately the two of you are working teamwork and you're pulling the energy out and you're basically sucking every drop of ether you can. And all of a sudden, even without your ether eyes, this guy looks like a purple gold sun. He looks almost like
Emperor of
he looks like Mr. Manhattan but made of purple goldness.
Am I purple or am I?
And he's looking at you and he's seeing through you. You're
Stay
seeing
gold,
like
boy, stay gold.
reflections of what it's like on the ether side of things, how there's like fluid, liquid motion inside his body, and you pulled all this energy into yourself. You are now a small scale ether bomb. So go ahead and...
And we want extra.
Okay, you're...
We don't even know what
Right? We might just
So
scroll
go
forward.
ahead and
Eric,
give me...
You watched Dragon Ball Z?
Yes,
Our
that's
group
Piccolo?
And you now are wanting to disperse this energy.
Someone, where's Moscow? Like, just someone give me a target because I don't know geography.
As all of a sudden you're looking like Neo in the Matrix. Everything you see is outlined by its ether auras. You see nothing is physical, everything is ethereal.
I know Kung Fu. What direction, like, directly out of the bay, what cardinal direction
That
is
is south.
that? It is south, not Moscow.
Not Moscow. The sea?
You know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck Marseille.
We are never going to hit Marseille again.
Marseille would be east.
Yeah, it's fine. You can get like a 180-degree view. It's fine.
So give me your
You know what?
Just shoot.
Okay.
Just shoot up because it should be able to go.
Is there an ocean?
Yes.
Like, is there? Because that's a fairly big.
No.
There's
Target.
the Mediterranean.
But yeah, but up it also
No.
is affected by gravity. We don't know if this has escape
Escape
gravity.
velocity.
And I would rather it be further than upward. I'd rather go sideways than brisk.
Okay, so we've
You know
got-
what? We British don't need the colonies.
What would happen if we nuke Egypt? Probably angry mummies. Mutated angry mummies.
Ether
I can
mummies.
get down for that kind of adventure.
Are we up for the Pharaoh Nemesis coming after us?
I'm pretty down for this
I'm down
that
for that.
adventure.
As
actually.
all of a sudden the caps of the pyramids glow with ether energy and mummies animate.
The aliens return. What the fuck are you doing to our pyramids?
We
charged
leave you
them
for a
for you.
couple millennia, and this is what you do with it.
So are you
The
gonna
pyramids
blast
are
the energy
flying.
out?
Well, the gold are very angry that we
Yeah.
shot the pyramids with lasers.
Solid Stargate reference. Very much appreciated.
Why did you cap our Stargate?
This is why.
This specific reason.
Do you see what humans do? Do you see what humans do?
It's
All
like
right.
taking the dog and rubbing their
Quick, put a
nose into
tentacle
it.
in him.
Huh? Where are we? What do you require?
So it's gonna be 4 purple.
Wait, Eric. All those ancient map makers would
Oh,
always
and
draw
he
tentacled
upgraded?
beings in the
He did
ocean,
upgrade
in the
it.
Atlantic Ocean,
He
right?
upgraded one of your
Yes.
points.
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking. I'm like, Atlantic Ocean, not a lot of people there. Probably
Okay.
the safest. We're
Go
probably gonna wake
no,
Cthulhu.
no.
Go
The
ahead
Atlantic Ocean
and
isn't anywhere near here. You've
Give
got
me
the
an
Mediterranean
astrogation
Sea.
roll.
Someone help me.
I'll help you.
Can someone roll astrogation?
Because the guy who doesn't know maps is gonna aim
Exactly
at the
what
map.
I said. Someone give me a direction.
I'm just gonna point fucking
Yeah, just points.
south.
Give me a
Just southwest.
Okay, southwest.
Southwest works.
Okay,
Aim up a little bit.
Just 4 purple?
4 purple, yeah.
Okay. And re-rolling 1 yellow.
Let's get a blue for.
You get a blue for me
Yeah.
and a blue for the goggles.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna help direct them too? You're like, point them that
And you did do the upgrade because he.
Yes, so I have 1 more yellow to roll after I roll.
way. And Peter is gonna take 2
Oh,
wounds.
triumph!
Solid.
Wow. Peter, you're gonna take 2 wounds touching him just from
Oh,
the
God.
sunburn of ether coming off of him.
I blew the crap out of this roll. This is wonderful.
The Atlantic Ocean is gonna be a
I have
tentacled
one
mess.
wound left.
Oh, damn, that's right. You were beaten pretty bad last time. As the pure ether burn on you as you're pointing him, your hair's flying back, and the sunburn is just making you go, oh, damn. Think I
This
didn't
was a
get
mistake.
think I didn't get threats, so this would be like opening the ark.
I have 8 successes, a triumph, and 2 advantage. This is where I belong.
As immediately, with no reservation, you look back at poor Peter, who's just being bathed in this ether radiation, and you just give him this soothing, it'll be okay. As you lift one hand up, then the other hand up, and then you just feel this tightening of the power as all of a sudden from both your arms, lightning starts arcing between them.
Railgun.
And boom, and this ray of swirling ether, before it even hits the maelstrom, evaporates a massive hole in it. So the maelstrom has this almost like curly cue of emptiness flittering around it as you were just bathing for like 10 seconds, pure ether out of you. As you're realizing your clothes are being like blasted, you couldn't see
You
them
should
when
take a
you
couple
them
of wounds for this. Because in real life,
Triumph.
railguns have the problem of, yeah, you can fire something along these rails really well, but the resulting force blasts them apart, and it takes like months to rebuild it.
As you see with your ether eyes, while you still have the goggles on and you bonded with them, they're like permanently with you.
I can see it.
Hey! No!
With the ethermancy inside this guy right now, matter is sort of suggestive.
Your ship's good though.
As you feel the ether just draining out of you in bucket loads, and you're seeing the ether hit the horizon and then like arc, because who knew the ozone keeps ether in and out? Fake ether can be even better. As you're just you're feeling at the exact moment you're firing the ether, you are the end of the beam that is arcing through the sky at the speed of light, and you're seeing all these things and places and mountains and all these things. And then all of a sudden, like a rubber band snapping back, you're back in your body. As all of a sudden, you look for a half second as the last of the ether's coming out of you. Literally, there's this like ether beam that starts like right here at your chest now. And your arms are like ripped to pieces. There's bone, the flesh is flailed off. And immediately, you don't feel any pain, but you see the discomfort of your body's a wreck. And then you look at the ether and say, no. And then the ether like whips into your body, restitching you on the atomic level.
Damn.
As the last of the ether just like beep, out of your fingertips.
I would like to use my advantage to pull out a cigarette and look to Peter. Was that good for you?
And then you notice Quintessence kind of like goes back in position that you never noticed. That apparently it was arcing. And then you kind of glance over at the bomb and you see that it's still powered on. It still has quite a charge in it, but the capacitors are completely drained, and it's slowly, at like 100th of the speed it was before, charging back up.
Oh.
Okay, we gotta dismantle this thing.
So,
From what you've seen, you probably think it will be hours before this thing is even close to where it was at before.
I need a nap.
And immediately you turn around, and where the airship's not blocking the view, there's people looking at you with huge eyes. As for 10 seconds they saw this ether beam going off.
Do you have an idea of where the beam hit since I was...
Give me an astrogation roll.
No, since I was, like, observing...
Oh, since it arced through some parts of Africa, and then it went down after Cape Horn. You kind of lost track of where it was going.
Fuck the penguins.
Didn't he shoot like southwest?
Yeah.
It was magic, though, and magic curries and eddies.
And the city kind of moved when the blast happened.
Sometimes.
And the storm made the beam technically do like one of these for a while, but it's all one big noodle beam.
Noodle beam.
Noodle beam.
So there is a high probability that mutant penguins are going to be coming after us in the future.
That's a Futurama episode.
But it is.
The beam arced into the Antarctic and turned on the alien xenomorph base.
Oh shit! I remember that one too. Well, we have a little while before that happens again.
Let's go.
Do we trust Quintessence with a bomb?
No.
Do we trust ourselves with a bomb?
Also no, but more than Quintessence.
Do we have enemies that would appreciate getting delivered a bomb?
Peter?
No.
Do you really want to blow up the homeland? No, you have hours.
No,
hours.
we have more than two.
So we
And-
could
and
take
there-
it somewhere where it's not as charged, drop it, it will still explode.
Let's put it this way. I rolled at least an 8.
And there's a possibility that we can, like, not necessarily do what we just did, but control it for a
Okay,
little bit
it's
longer.
still got all the foam around it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we make it explode now and then have the foam just absorb it?
No.
It'd be too much for
Like,
me.
it's-
It'll be too much?
It would be like using, flame retardant foam on an A-bomb.
Okay.
It won't actually really do much. If it was like a minor explosion or there's radiation leaking out of it, yeah, the foam will protect you. But if it detonates, it detonates.
Okay. Is
What
there, I still think the best way to do it is to, like, disconnect the capacitors from the boom thing.
Well, if.
That
we have to
well,
get
that
to the
involves
phone.
knowing that they have capacitor. Well, they actual physical capacitors in this actual.
So
I thought you said that there were capacitors.
something that was loading up like a capacitor. Yeah.
Yeah, but
the,
he didn't.
The problem is you have to cut through the foam, open the crate to get
He
to the
doesn't
bomb.
need to.
Well, I'm doing it through Aether. You know, so it's Aether magic, and magic has different rules than logic. So like, there's something that vaguely translates to a magic
No. You can
capacitor.
teleport.
I
So
can't
there's-
teleport.
You can't teleport?
You might be able to as a primal,
Yeah,
but
he's divine.
I cannot teleport.
Oh.
He's not a wizard. He's a priest.
Oh, you see, that's where the disconnect was.
Mm.
I thought since you could teleport, you could like pull the plug
No.
from inside.
No, I wanted to teleport earlier, and that's when we
Only
figured out
you
that. I
have
couldn't.
the ability to tell.
Who knew? And you think you might be able to figure it out someday. This is what happens when you don't get the
Can't give you the
Ether
goggles,
Man
they're welded to his skin.
No, he healed
No,
himself.
he can pull the goggles off. You're
He
actually
healed
gonna
himself.
try.
I'm gonna look.
Okay. So you hand him the goggles as he's sitting there with one wound left. Are you sure you're up for this?
One wounded, 4 strain.
Okay. So 2 uses of your
One
ethermancy.
wounded, 2 strain.
Okay, so
Right now I'm
Yeah.
just looking.
Using the
Okay.
Using the goggles. I'm not
Okay.
even using these for power, really. I'm just using the
okay.
goggles.
So you put the goggles. He's leaning down and giving you the goggles. You put them on, and you're seeing that barely able to see the ether now because he sucked all the ether out of it.
Okay. So, if we were able to get rid of the phone, and if we were able to cut into the bomb,
Okay.
is it kind of obvious what we need to do?
I would disable it.
Give me an ether tech roll.
I'll help him out with that.
That's why one of you guys should probably be wearing the goggles. Because he's looking at it, he's just like, I don't get any of this stuff.
Here,
I
look
have
at it.
1 yellow and 2 green for ether tech.
Like 2 yellow and 2 green.
Okay, I'll go for it.
Or you can work together and make the best of it.
Yeah, I will. Oh. Can you see?
Like, it's already a better die pool than she has.
I know, but yeah, it would add a blue.
And another blue for the goggles.
Okay, so it gets 2 purple.
This is kind of
And it add a black because it's so depleted in power you can barely see the circuits.
You wanna flip a thing to just screw with me?
Oh no, sorry, I thought you were gonna flip one. No, you're just looking. All you're doing is looking. I'm gonna save the black when you do something.
There's just a whole fuckload of success and 2 advantage.
So you have the goggles on and you're looking and you're seeing poetry in motion. This is beautiful. It's a combination of artwork and science. Oddly enough, you would love to take this apart to recreate it for one.
Don't.
Pass!
Do you know what would be a good idea?
Now that I've seen it, I can probably try recreating it, but I'm not gonna screw with it right now.
If you would just take the power core out of this, you could so easily modify your ship to light up a city. You know that if you just had the time to work with this and spend time.
Listen, when we're done with this, I have an idea, and you're gonna like it.
Is your idea to put that thing in a turkey baster and then shoot it straight up?
No, actually,
It is now, isn't it?
man, imagine Berlin.
The 8th man of oh shit!
I'd be a villain from Borderlands.
No, you'd be the villain from Batman Beyond. You'd be Blight. You'd
Yeah.
be great.
Why can we see his skull through his face?
It's normal for his kind.
Also, you're not seeing it through my face. My face is now inside of my skull, so you're just seeing my skull. You're not seeing my face. If anything, you're seeing my face through my skull.
Jeez.
Oh god.
So you.
Wait, you think he has a monopoly on the
Oh,
ridiculous
that's
things?
ridiculous, yeah.
Yes.
The next slide
I just let you
huge.
guys have some of it sometimes.
So you had the idea how you would take this apart if you had the time and inclination to do it. Matter of fact, you really want to. It's like a piece of freaking art.
Does the advantages he get give him the knowledge of whether he has the time to do this properly?
Oh, it's a very quick knowledge of, fuck no, I don't have time to do that.
You actually think you could, the way it's slowly powering up. Whether you should or want
Slowly
to.
powering up. So it's powering up.
It's powering up.
It's those words that I'm kind of hanging on.
Yeah.
The words of it's powering. I don't have to. Because what if it powers up and it's not all put together? Let's maybe not do that.
Things could happen.
I'm a mad scientist, not a dumb one.
But what if it explodes without you getting the opportunity to take it apart?
Ooh.
How much of a tragedy would that be?
What if it explodes with me having the chance to take it apart?
That is the problem.
Quite the conundrum.
Yes.
So what are you guys gonna do? As says everyone's
I
still
mean, I'm
looking at
basically
you
God
guys
now.
in awe.
Okay, I think we can all agree that we don't want
To remain here in
yes,
Quintessence.
the quintessence to have it. And right now there's probably a fairly stable hole out of the out of
You
the
can
storm.
clearly see the horizon.
The mail
Unlike before, I could definitely pilot us out of that.
Let's get the fuck out of here, and then
I mean,
we
the
can
box is
decide.
still roped to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here, and then we can decide what to do with
So
it.
we can't.
Yeah.
We,
I'll
because
I'll cast the ladder over for him to climb up.
Yes.
Just go.
Because
I-
someone's still
They
running
haven't-
from somebody,
they
right?
haven't tried.
Remember, you're out there with them too.
Are we sure
Oh,
we can't
yeah.
just disarm it and stop it from powering up?
And pretty much as you say, as Peter says that, you all realize one of the witnesses that are sitting there watching you, and you immediately know just from his robes, he's a high monkey monk.
Oh fuck.
He's of like the 5th rank of the Brotherhood. And he immediately steps forward from the crowd, and a bunch of people like shirk back from him seeing him step forward and say, "What was that?"
Either bomb, gotta run.
If you don't already
Give me
know
a quick intelligence roll, since
Okay, just
you're
straight
from
intelligence.
Quintessence. You might recognize him and or the robe.
Any difficulty?
It's just two purple, super average.
I'm
Wait,
tired, I'm
intelligence.
hurt. This is banter.
Uh-huh.
If you don't know what it is, you should be in this conversation.
Oh, thank you. I was just.
No, I don't know what it is. Or two failures.
Failure.
and-
You
and
you don't
and-
recognize him. You realize the robe is someone of high
Oh yeah,
rank.
he's a high monkey monk. I'm still gonna say, if you don't know what it is, you should be in this conversation.
You do that, and like 5 people like, oh, like, oh no, he didn't.
Oh my God.
He's gonna look at you, and then immediately you see blue-purple flash in his eyes.
Yeah, good. That means that he might be able to be in this conversation. We need more people in this conversation. That's not a bad thing.
I
Your
disagree.
mama's so fat. Wow.
3 successes. You guys see Peter mouth off at him, and immediately Peter just slumps the rest of it at the floor. On the wall.
He was.
He took one wound.
That's exactly what I was. Maybe not even the wrong mood.
No, it was
He was too strained.
Just strain. It was just strain that he took, but you were out cold.
Wait a minute, he strained you unconscious?
He only had 2 strain left.
Oh, I was gonna say, so can you do
You do
this?
not understand how hard I've been written.
He might not even have used magic. He might have just scathing tiraded him in
As
his eyes.
all of a sudden you look at Peter and realize he's got like wood slippers in his shirt. He's got scuffs and rips in his shirt. It looks like he's been
My
running
ankle,
across
my
country.
ankle and knee.
This was the
Slightly
guy that
disconnected.
before he was like, let's stop here and disarm the bomb, was like, let's get out of Quintessence this very second now.
You see him fall to the ground.
Well, he was already sitting down, and he just like head thumps between his knees, and he's out cold.
Well, I'm gonna get between
Well,
this high monkey mug and Peter and go, hey, what the hell did you do to my friend?
Your friend was insolent and needed to sleep.
I'm
Look
gonna-
at him. He seems distressed.
I'm gonna walk over to Peter and I'm gonna pick him up and start taking him onto the
just
ship.
take him onto the ship.
Okay.
And I'd say, like, once you're on the ship, okay.
I mean, the engines are already being
Yeah, I mean,
spun,
you
alright? We just gotta put it in
basically
gear.
part
And he kind of ignores, the norms, and he kind of gestures at both of you. What transpired here?
That was excellent. think
We're bloody well trying to save your city.
I think I established dominance over Australia. like I was a big game hunter before, and I think I am done with that. I don't think
You ether down under.
I'm like, there's no reason for me to go
I
back.
found Bigfoot.
I think I've peaked personally.
You still smoking the
Oh
cigarette?
no, I'm still smoking. There's chunks of me that are probably
It's like
carbonized.
one little waft of fabric
Your
is
first
finished
words to the
resuturing
monkey
itself
butt
together.
was that good for you? So you just say to everyone from
That's
now
the
on,
only
it's
thing
like-
that I can say now. That's my I am Groot. You know.
You burned every other synapse in your brain.
Is that good for you?
I'm just gonna communicate through psychic powers now. 'Cause
So he's basically staring at the two of you, ignoring those two.
I'm gonna tell him this 100% honestly. I have literally no idea what I just did, but it was excellent. And
Much like Bill and Ted.
Bloody
It was
well,
excellent.
bloody well saving your city.
it's true that I am also excellent. And in the interests of not blowing up this city, we are leaving now.
And immediately he like twinkles in his eyes, and
I don't like that
you sense it almost looks like you're twinkling when you're doing crazy shit, and he kind
My
of like
flesh is twinkling. I look like a Twilight vampire.
he puts his
Sparkle.
he puts his fingers to his temple, and he's trying to establish a mental connection with you.
Oh, he's
Ethermans.
fried.
Like psychically.
Like psychically.
It's like-
He wants to see what transpired in your head. Now you gonna let him?
Oh yeah, I will give him full access to that dark ether consciousness.
And this is how you get ether herpes.
This is how you end. You're gonna end quintessence more effectively than that bomb ever could have.
I am most effective.
So go ahead and give me a discipline roll.
Okay.
It's gonna be against 2 red and 2 purple. And so you're this is see who's in control of the movie time in your head. Would you like to flip?
I'm
No.
okay with that.
Okay.
No, we're doing all right.
Okay, then I'll flip.
Do-do-do.
So it's
3 reds and a purple.
I'm just still technically
And I'll give you a blue because you're still hopped up on the juju.
blue for Juju. Ooh, the blue did his job. That's good. Okay. Kill some of these. Kill some of these. 2.
Those are failures.
They are failures. So, did not success.
Not success.
No.
How badly did you not success?
5 advantage.
Wow.
And 2 failures.
Okay, so immediately you know he's seeing through your head. He's seeing like the last 15
I feel
minutes.
so sorry for him.
As he's super confused, but with your 5 advantages, what would you like to do?
He'd like to set it all to yakety sax.
inside his head is.
It's everything that has
That
happened
is
in the last 2
yeah.
hours.
It's a
but
montage.
But
Benny
Can
style.
he show him his visitor?
For 3 advantage, I'll give that.
what?
For 3 advantage, that you basically are introducing him to your visitor trapped in your sacred flame in your head.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
But actually, is the visitor in my sacred flame the same as the dark ether conscious?
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Okay, then absolutely I'll introduce him. I thought there was a dark ether conscious.
It's-
That will do that.
Well, I'm making that dark
Actually-
ether.
I'm
It's still contained, but you can go there in your mind palace and
Yeah.
basically say, by the way, ether in my head.
yeah, like I kind of want that to happen. Like that like I think that will keep him busy enough for my friends to get us the fuck out of here. So I want to use that little thing to take his little safe connection and move the connection just a little bit. Just
Well, for the advantage, I'll let him see this. He's not able to interact with it.
okay.
If you were in control, you could
Yeah.
open the cage and see what
Well,
happened.
if he sees it, he might want to activate it himself.
No. He would not want to open that cage of whoop-ass.
Would he want to if it seemed nicer than it is? Because you said 3 advantage, and I have 5.
Yes, you get 2 extra advantage.
I have nothing else to use it on.
So are you going to basically make the flame seem very like hidden secret?
Yes, like I instead of being a hidden vault, I want it to look like something that I'm hiding from him intentionally. And let him make the decision to go in there on his own.
That wasn't the way we wanted to do that.
Here's the thing, I always wanted to destroy everything.
What is your discipline?
My discipline is 4 yellow and a green.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna need a whole bunch of reds.
You just turned us from a victim to an accessory.
You probed
We were never
my
victims,
mind
to be fair.
without my
Where are
consent,
all your
so...
reds?
All over there.
They're over here, what
No,
do you...
Yeah.
2 of those are mine.
They're all over here.
So I need some reds. And so 4 reds
And
a
purple. And you know what? We have too much white on there, and you make me roll math all the time. That's how I would like to flip
Sure,
one,
that purple
because it's
red.
fun. Even if we don't
Okay.
get anything out of it.
What's the worst that happens?
4 despairs.
Not even a single
Single
despair.
But all of them have stuff
All of
facing,
them
so
are
that's
negative, so that takes out
It
that.
definitely looks like some negative results.
Takes out that.
good. Yes.
So 1 threat, so he's taking a point of strain and no successes. So he was in your head, he's like, show me more, and screwing the mayonnaise jar. And then there's that awkward moment where the jar is too tight and you can't open it. And you want to look like you're not a weak-limbed ethermancer. You can't open the mayonnaise jar of darkness. And you like go tap, tap, tap on the counter, but still it doesn't want to open. But he can't pierce your flame. But he is crazy curious about what's inside there. And he basically is giving you the look like, shh, I want to see it all.
How fast is this going?
This is one round that this is happening in his
Okay.
head. You're standing
Yeah.
there, they're both glassy-eyed looking at each other like they're long-lost lovers. Secret love.
Everyone is a long lost lover. I just fucked the planet.
So what are you doing? They're in the ship.
Well, I got between Peter and so he's taking Peter off, and I'm like,
You gonna grab him over your shoulder and get on the ship? Give me an athletics roll. You could. They're in the psychic dimension, dueling each other right now. Distance matters not.
against.
Just 2 purple. He's not the world's browniest guy. He's hopped up on Aether, but
Okay, so that cancels that. I got 2 advantages.
so you start to pick him up, and his feet feel
Because I
glued
am
to
a
the
lot
ground.
smaller than him.
Granted, it's also you realize he hasn't moved from where he blasted, and the concrete granite is like molecularly melted around his feet.
This is normal for a first date.
Okay, so I'm assuming you dropped Peter off in the cargo hold.
Yeah, and I made my way to the cabin.
Okay, so you're basically putting him down gently, and then walking up to the till. Okay.
As soon as I hear from these 2, they're back on board.
Okay, so what are you gonna do in the psychic plane?
I'm
It's like blasts of images are flying through.
I'm gonna try to take control of the psychic duel because I know he still
I
has.
thought you were going to say take control of the monkey. I was like,
Okay, so go ahead and give me a roll. It's gonna be against 3 red and a purple.
3 red and a purple.
Yeah, 3 red and a purple. And you know what? Let's upgrade one of those purples to a red.
Red. So many reds. Because reds are more fun than yellows.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we get.
No despair and a triumph though.
Oh. In Eric Brain.
Okay, a triumph.
It's true.
2 failures and 6 advantage.
2 advantage.
2 advantage. 4 advantage. You're right. These 2 are like. I have one.
So one failure.
1 failure, a triumph, and 4 advantage.
So what would you like to do with your 4 advantage?
I'm gonna give her bonus dice to picking me up.
As all of a sudden you see this like cloud in the psychic world that's your actual eyeballs looking out, seeing her going.
Exactly.
She's making that look at you.
All I'm doing is actually not fighting her and picking me up.
All of a sudden you sigh and the atomic bonds at your feet are releasing. Okay, what would you like for the triumph? You're in charge of the 3-hour tour?
No. I think that I failed to take control of it because I didn't succeed at that. But I did manage to, him having control, get him to look into the dark, into the abyss.
Oh, he seems
Yeah.
quite interested in the flame with the heart of darkness that he's wanting to pierce, but your fires keep blazing up because you made good defenses and don't want to let him touch the darkness.
Well, I kind of want to let his mind get destroyed.
Will it get
No,
destroyed?
I want him to. What the triumph is, I want him to succeed at seeing that, but get like blue screen of death for a little while and give us a chance to get away.
Okay, so pretty much.
Basically, also put in an earworm.
So-
and then everything over and over and over and over.
So he's
Forever.
basically reaching into this flame that you created to keep the darkness at bay, and all of a sudden you control the flame so it like wafts open, and you're letting him think he did it. And immediately he reaches his hand into the darkness, and all of a sudden pulls his hand out of the flames, and you just see this black purple fire radiating off his fingers as he's like just mesmerized looking at this
It
flame.
ain't good.
And he's wanting to, and you just see he turns his back to you as he's just like,
He's gonna blow.
what is this
He's
ether
being seduced by the
power?
dark side.
What is this power you have inside you? And as he turns around to look at you, you realize the flames in his eyes are ready, and he's like, I've seen all I need to see.
Oh god.
And just snaps his fingers, and poof, you realize that this one's picking you up on her shoulder, and she's climbing up the stairs. She's got her arm on the rail with you over her shoulder.
We're
and she's-
leaving now.
It'd be easier to climb if your arms were tentacles.
He's not wrong.
All need articulated digits in order to do my other engineering.
You'll have those back after you get up.
No, tentacles with smaller tentacles.
So she's pulling
That's
you
what
up
the
there.
seconds are for.
As all of a sudden, the very last thing you're hearing as she's pulling up the ramp behind her is this Ethermancer turns around and you just hear a booming voice come out of him. He's obviously using Ethermancer to project his voice. There is nothing to see here.
Well, I guess we should leave because there's nothing to see here.
Yes, you should.
Gunning it.
Fly casual.
Okay. Give me a piloting roll.
Operating.
Yep. And it's going to be against 2 purple.
So the guy who wants to
That's fine.
destroy Quintessence
You don't
is
want 3
now
threat, let me
in
just
the
say.
body
In the high
of
monkey monster head.
monkey monster's head.
So it appears.
2
I'm so
success,
glad I'm on
2 advantage.
Okay, so you're
I'm
easily
so
turning
glad
the
I'm
airship, you're goosing the altimeter so you go high and the crate swings loose before you guys move off, and you are beelining for that nice beautiful opening that's like oval shaped. Okay, and
So where are we going?
you realize leaving through this big giant hole is so much
remember
easier than
how
showing
you
up.
had
Yeah.
plotted that chart to a secluded area?
The crevasse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's keep going there.
Wait, no. I had reservations about putting a bomb inside of a crevice in the earth.
I had no reservations.
That's why I had reservations.
Crevice in the earth, ocean, anything gives us kaiju.
Now it's 60% more kaiju.
Bam!
So where's
Pacific
your
Rim.
Anywhere but per se. Actually, no.
No.
Say.
No, you know what's gonna happen? Anywhere but Marseille. Despair.
Yeah.
Thursday!
You're there again.
You know, actually, that would be really interesting if our keep going back to Marseille was repeatedly Hostor's doing, and the original plan was always to nuke Marseille. And
You just never knew.
Another quintessence.
quintessence.
Marsuses. Okay, so where exactly are you heading?
Are we hostile with any governments?
Russia.
No, that's the question because this guy doesn't know. If
He's living in a floating city where everyone likes you,
Yeah.
except that gun guy we left back there.
yeah, there was. We have.
Uninhabited area would be good.
Yes, but if we have enemies, it would
Yeah,
be
that's
better.
like most of Russia. Uninhabited area.
Like,
Not even just Siberia, it's just most of Russia historically. It's pretty sparsely populated.
but sincerely, like, we want to disarm this. We want to put this in a place that's fairly safe. But I would rather do it not over friendly territory where someone that's friendly with us will be like, why did you nuke our country?
There's nobody in Tibet, and that's close.
I'm
It's
friends
really
with
not
the Dalai
close.
Lama. The Dalai Lama is
Tibet
probably a
is a
psychic.
solid long distance from Budapest.
As all of a sudden, all the Tibetan monasteries fade out of existence. They were secretly monks this whole time.
I really don't have anyone like that I would want to nuke. Like there's just not a reason for me to have an opinion. Well, there's a reason for me to want to do it in the ocean, or
Science!
I mean, there's a lot to be learned from nuking something and observing it.
Think of all the quintessence.
And then once we're away from a populated area, maybe then we can absorb some power fields that are bigger than my head. But
He just wants tentacles to come out of the ocean.
We just do it in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
Yeah, you could easily turn the desert to glass.
Drop south and a little bit west. It's almost like nuking Egypt.
I mean, you're flying. Where are you
Mojave
heading?
Desert.
it's up to you.
Actually,
The Mojave Desert's quite a bit
Actually,
further.
probably Turkey. I mean, that's
Sahara?
the other side. There's a big bunch of nothing in Turkey.
Well, that's true.
Mountain,
Turkey does have a lot
mountain
of.
ranges in Anatolia.
Yeah, but they have a lot of just desert plains.
We're pretty darn close to Transylvania.
Oh fuck no.
Yeah, but it's all mountains. We don't want to.
But there's a vampire castle
Things we don't need.
that we can nuke
Yeah.
to
no.
make angry at us.
I would rather have the angry mutant mummies than the angry mutant Draculas.
Hey, the Ottoman Empire is probably not too friendly with us, anyways, right now, and
There's
there's
the Ottoman
power.
Empire.
The Ottoman's pretty okay.
I say we drop it in like the desert plains of Turkey.
Okay, you're going for the scrubs.
It's also
Scrub country.
relatively close.
Off we go.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me an astrogation roll as you're like, okay, to the off the beaten path of Turkey. What's the worst that could happen?
I don't know, you tell me. What's the purplest
Too
that can
purple.
happen?
Oh, that's not too
It's just too purple. You got a map. It's right there on the map.
Triumph.
Yeah.
You immediately
Smack
are
dab in the center of.
Nowhere.
no
Turkey.
man's land. So you basically are guiding that like the only thing out here is goats. And you tell the group there are no goat shepherds out here whatsoever. It's all just goats.
There's no
So.
goats because there's no plants.
Oh, there's plants.
These aren't the same goats that we ran over the last
No.
time. Because we seem to hate goats.
These will be goats
So
with
much.
tentacles.
They already have those weird
Octopus
hourglass.
eyes.
We're trying to create quintessence
Goats.
goat simulator.
No, we're gonna create what are
It's
the
not a
things?
simulator.
High goats.
That is
The Goat Republic of Turkey.
We're gonna make showgoths. This is how we make showgoths.
Okay, so your piloting is spot on. You guys get there and it seems like no time whatsoever. Bombs
Say we
swinging
go up for
underneath.
really, really high, and then drop it.
The alternative is we land softly, put it down, cut the rope, and then fly off.
Okay, or I could still try to disarm it, but
What year is it?
We picked
2019.
it was
18,
90 or something.
I think it was 90 that we picked.
1890.
So it's the summer of 1990.
Well, if we're going
It's
tricky,
tricky.
Yeah.
well,
So you guys are heading there, and you're softly landing to put it down, and go outside and unhook it.
yeah.
Yeah, but do we have an idea, using the goggles, do we have an idea when it's gonna go off?
You still realize you've got like a couple hours before it'll go off.
What if we drop it in the Mediterranean?
No,
We just spent all the time going to the middle of nowhere.
we're gonna
But it's
leave
on
it.
the way.
No,
Not anymore.
we're not gonna destroy the ecosystem of the ocean.
We're gonna destroy this with the fallout.
Yeah, but,
Like what happened last time one of these went off.
so we get a new maelstrom, but it's not near anything.
But at least the water would act as a buffer. I mean,
Yeah, it acted as a buffer, except for the fact
Then
that
we'd
any
have a
stray
vortex.
aether radiation would go into the ecosystem and give us aether irradiated
as
fish.
opposed to it going into the ecosystem this way, and
So
also
wait. What happens if we drop a rock on it?
You might like go from a huge height and just drop
Yes.
a rock on it. Don't know. We'd have to roll to find out.
are you just trying to set it off?
I'm hoping to crush it before it blows its own.
Well, if it's gonna blow up on its own,
If it blows up on its own, it creates a maelstrom.
and if we drop something on it, it's gonna just create another maelstrom.
Really?
Yes,
Maybe.
we're basically impacting.
It's like when the army teaches guys when a nuclear missile crashes, you throw a hand grenade into it.
Yeah.
That's actually how they disarm nuclear missiles.
Yeah,
Because you're destroying the electronics that set off the simultaneous explosion that causes the implosion.
Doesn't cause, okay.
It will cause radiation in the immediate area because you've now cracked the
and it'll
sphere.
still explode. But-
Unfortunately, most nuclear weapons are set for airburst,
Mhm.
which is, a thing that you can't really put a grenade onto.
Unless you're an ant-man.
Then you put a wasp into it. Oh wait, first Ant-Man. So, what you guys plan?
I mean, if you guys are set on this,
I mean, I like the rock idea.
I don't.
That's a very Russian way of fixing a thing. Let's drop rock from great height.
From great height.
First, let's see how many rocks it will take to hit it. To the left!
Kentucky windage with rock boulders.
Fire to granite for effect!
we're not sure that this isn't going to set off on an EMP. We're not sure about a lot of stuff.
Okay, we know if we don't do anything, it's going to explode
Yes.
and do bad things.
It's gonna explode and do bad things, period.
Right.
I
so
say we just set it and forget it.
Look, we're way
if
over
we
here. We
drop-
had nothing to
if
do
we
with
drop a
that.
rock on it, will it do worse than if we don't do anything at all?
I mean,
That's
we'll,
the
we'll
question.
be nearby when
I
it
think it will do
explodes.
equivalent.
Okay.
So that's your tech expert's opinion.
If it will do equivalent, and
Then we
if-
just set it and leave.
Of course, she is also the one who wanted to cut the rope.
Well,
One's science, the other's caveman.
but we'll get a lot farther distance away if we do just set it down.
Okay, so you guys basically gonna park it there and
And I'd rather not risk the ship.
And
slowly.
percussive maintenance only works on electronics, not machinery.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
guys.
last thing we would need is an Aether EMP for this thing going off with us in the vicinity, and then of course I lose the engines.
Would that be an AMP?
Yeah, that's true.
So you guys get back in the airship. You're all kind of nervous about your life choices here. You're still having that friendly banter of whose idea was best.
Can we gather the goats though? So they don't
They're wild goats. They were set loose during the Great War. They've been living on of the shrubbery.
Serves them right.
I think
Poor goats.
that Aaron would want to do some experiments with the bomb. Even if it means that you guys go off to a fairly safe distance.
That's what I was gonna say. It's gonna involve us going off to a
'cause-
very, very safe distance.
Because
to
I
do
think that Aaron wants to know more about what is going on in that bomb, and I think you would too, actually.
As long as I'm not right next to it.
You have a little teardrop when you're thinking about the beauty that's being left
Exactly.
to explode.
Like, and I would.
A single tear.
A single
And the
teardrop.
thing is, I wouldn't have any way of actually appreciating that mechanical genius as you do.
No, but like if you just look at what happens as it goes, I'm sure if you manage to survive, you can beam those images in the head.
As we have a new ether wraith, His
Like-
shadow has been burned into the side of the airship.
I'm two-dimensional now. I think I would like to. I think that he has some questions that he wants answered,
How
and
close are we talking?
it's up to them. I don't care. I don't care if
They're
fly
wanting
away.
to go to a safe
Yeah, yeah.
distance. How close are you wanting to stay?
To the bomb?
Yeah.
Pretty much next to it. Because I'm imagining that I want to. I've got a little bit of time before it critical masses,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, ideally,
But how
we'd
are
like
you
to
gonna
be
get
off of
away?
the entirety of Asia Minor.
When it does explode, how do you expect to get away?
He doesn't.
I don't know.
But
But I'll
stay right
figure
there.
something out.
We've all seen that Star Trek episode.
It worked last time.
Yeah.
What is something of yours that you have on you now that's very important to you?
So we can use a medium to contact you later. Are you out there?
Not once for you.
No, seriously.
No,
What is
I'm
something-
thinking about it like this guy doesn't have a lot of stuff. He has his clothes, he has his magic rod,
Wait,
and he intends to use
not
it.
once.
But how about like a lock of hair?
That's him.
Okay.
Yeah, like how about biological matter, like a lock of hair or something.
Okay.
Get a glass vial.
Okay.
Put a lock of hair in it.
I think I said he was bald, so probably armpit hair.
Armpit hair.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's other hair.
there's other hair
that
that
I would have
works.
gone with, but I think I specifically said
If
that he
anyone
was bald
asks,
before.
it's beard hair.
Now, if you're alive, you should be able to get to your hair on our ship that's far away.
he can't
No,
teleport.
no, that's fine. He doesn't need to teleport.
You
How's
know,
he-
If you're still alive,
guy we read one penny dreadful of Ethermancy, he thinks he knows how this stuff works.
there should be a way that this links to him.
Yeah, I'm
Right?
sure.
That's the
You
way
know,
it works.
I'm on board with that much right there. Like there's probably a link that we've established, at least for the immediate future.
I'm on board with the content you're all providing me.
Can you do something so that way we know by looking at this hair how you're doing?
Sure. I imagine if I die in an ether explosion, that'll burn.
When
Like,
you burst into black flames, you now know that the shadow has absorbed all the bomb and, is in charge of his body.
Okay. Works for
Ooh,
me.
that's probably a good one anyway. This is probably a good safety precaution anyway at this point.
I don't think there's anything safe about what you're doing.
Has there
But
been
it is a
anything
precaution.
safe? When have we done anything remotely safe?
So you guys you're cutting off, it's sun
And
is
we're like, oh my
setting.
god, he's crazy.
You've taken your bearings, so you know where through the observation glass you guys need to look at the mountainside where it's gonna happen.
Don't look directly at the explosion. Safety tip, especially not with your eye
Goggles.
And besides,
As you come-
if you did, you would not be a cool guy.
I don't think we're going to need the telescope.
You never know. You never know. And as you're out there, the stars look beautiful. They're coming out with no light pollution. You can see the nebula
We're
clouds.
putt-putting away as quickly as possible,
Putt,
as
putt,
far
putt,
as
putt, putt,
possible.
putt.
As it's going. As you're sitting there and
Go
comes
horses
walking
are
up,
being
eating
spared.
eating next to you as you're looking at this foam-covered crate with the ropes still kind of embedded in
The
it.
goat bites into the foe.
As it's just gumming it and nothing's coming loose. It's that good of ether foam.
Another goat
You
hit button.
sense, just with your ether sense, you sense the swelling power within this.
Yeah, unfortunately, just when we started playing, I said he was a cleric of the holy flame, and I can't imagine anything more holy than an atomic blast made of holy flame.
You did tell me
That-
secretly
that-
about that part of you.
That was
The second Planet of the Apes.
there was nothing else I could think of,
Worshiping
and there's
that
nothing
atomic
more I can
bomb.
imagine that he would be more interested in than
He's
this.
gonna peel off his true self. Yeah. They were hairless too.
Okay, as you're feeling the swelling energy in the box, and we have this momentary Star Wars-esque flash to our engineering room. She's like, you call out his name, he calls out your name. Because he can feel you can feel her sadness.
I know.
Because she's
committing
absolutely
suicide.
sure that you're committing suicide.
Well, there's like a 95% chance that I'm committing suicide, but
He's going out the way he want to go out.
I mean, if I was gonna go out, which is still not the plan,
I
it is the way that I would want to.
I'm
Yeah.
the good Russian death.
There's
That's
tears,
the way I'm
and
looking
you can
at
see
it.
the streaks from the oil and grease.
The clean streaks.
Yeah, the clean streaks.
okay
my
because-
tears.
Every hour and a half, your goggles will turn into
The only
tentacles.
thing
That
in
way
my
you can
thoughts is
remember me.
go.
So you're standing
So-
there.
So I know
The
that.
tentacle wipes my tears.
Yeah, that's what I'm So I know that part of this has this horrible dark consciousness to it, right?
Mhm.
And to me, I feel like that is a bit of a perversion of the holy flame. So I don't think that I can beat it on my own. But I would like to make a counterpart to the dark ether flame, to consciousness.
Inside you.
I'm assuming that,
Because it's still in you.
yeah, something will happen, but I want there to be an opposing force of the opposite direction.
So are you trying like to
A yin to its yin.
I want
partition your psyche, or
I
are
want
you...
to make the bomb explode and harness that energy to create a counterpart. Like I'm sure that the dark side wants to use it all for
so
itself.
Manhattan when he made
Yeah.
multiple versions of himself, so he can
And I also hope to live.
multitask.
Okay, so go ahead and figure out your dice pool for the spell. The ether bomb is going to let you have a blue and a free upgrade, by the way.
Okay.
Because this, think of it almost like a wizard's dying wish.
Yes.
You do have lots of ether that's going to be out there any second now. You can practically feel the crate's edges ebbing with this energy that's
I'm gonna
swelling
actually
up.
upgrade you as well.
Okay, so I'll have another yellow
Okay.
and a green. Unless you have a particular school that you want this to be, it'll be a utility spell, which is fairly normal. But so it's up to you to boost the die however you want.
Okay, so
And I can see you getting boosted quite a bit.
it's going to be a daunting effect.
So that's 4.
And also, the darkness inside you doesn't want you to die.
Oh, okay. How kind of it.
And
This
if
is
you're
like-
willing to work with it, it's willing to save you if you let it take over.
Oh, shnikey.
This is like the devil that was in Harry Dresden's psychic.
Lash.
Flash. Yes.
Yeah,
Lash
Lash.
Yes, I loved her.
Lash was the good part.
Lash was the
Lashiel was
coin.
the bad.
Yeah, Lashiel is the demon.
Lashiel was, the without the human.
Without getting
corrupt-
seduced
So
by
your
Dresden
question
men.
is, do you want to let the dark thing that you were trying to create a light thing to counter yourself help you?
I'm a conflicted guy. but actually, I think that I would want him to have, since I'm trying to create an opposite, I think I would want him to have as little to do with it as possible.
Okay, you wouldn't want him to pervert your
No,
idea.
I
Because you
think
get the sense if he takes over, he will
Yeah.
so pervert
Yeah,
your plan.
Because that's what I would do.
In all honesty, I'm just.
I don't like him, but I respect him. Them.
It's
So, would you like to upgrade any of the die? Because
We've already used a story.
yeah.
oh no, just in general, because this is a more difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
The
Alright,
dice
here we go.
bag is yours.
As you are attempting to create basically a celestial flame of ether.
yeah, whose name will come up later. Okay.
Like if there was no
Looks
triumph,
pretty
you
good.
got robbed.
There's no triumph.
There's no triumph, but we have a success and 5 advantages.
Okay. So as the bomb is exploding, there's this tenth of a second that keeps replaying itself. Annoying 80s style explosion where you get like 2 seconds of
Like
explosion.
from different angles.
Yeah.
Like, just get on with it.
Even a little Power Rangers triple play,
Yeah.
As all of a sudden you are absorbing all of it because it's pure ether and energy and creation. And you know worlds upon worlds can be created with this kind of power. that this is what you are here for, to personify the light that you know is in the ether, but it is not spoken to anyone except you.
You are the holy flame right
You are both the Father, the Son, and the Holy Flame.
That is true.
For you have created it, and it has created you. You know, even more.
Does he have the second personality there as well? Or?
As what, the shadow?
No, that he wanted to create, remember?
As the explosion is blasting you, and you're just, white light, you're not seeing with your eyes are like burned out, and you're just seeing with the pure ether orbs in your eyes. All of a sudden, you realize it's not an explosion in your face, but it's a humanoid figure.
It's a bird.
That looks just like you.
You're a mommy!
It looks just like your ether-fied personification, and it's looking back at you. And all of a sudden, in this span of a heartbeat, you basically reach out to it, and it's mirroring your motions, and it's basically trying to figure out what you are.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck you.
Was it good for you?
As all of a sudden, it mirrors your motions, and then it touches its head. And then it reaches out towards your mind. And you feel it kind of reach into your head, and then it comes out with a little black flame that looks really reminiscent of your little mind temple where you track the darkness. And then it just kind of, and it evaporates to nothing.
Ooh.
And then it just looks at you like it's asking you a question.
Was it good for you?
Yeah, it was.
As all of a sudden, as if playing a memory, it reaches in for imaginary cigarettes and reacts to the motion.
Oh god, it's the god of dad jokes. This is truly the antithesis of darkness.
It's the most wholesome thing in the universe. And then it says you're not holding the flashlight right. So what do you answer it when it's quizzing you for what is the answer?
You need the ultimate dad joke for this.
In all honesty, I'm just happy I'm not evaporated. I honestly feel like I would have he would have no desire to imprint on it. Like he just wants it to.
He wants it pure and uncorrupted
yeah,
by
he
human
didn't want
frailties.
someone else to fuck it up, and he doesn't want to fuck it up himself. So, whatever the question is that it wants is something that it has to discover for itself.
Okay. So go.
So you're gonna basically bring this thing into being, but not answer any of its questions.
Yeah.
No.
That's a dick
No.
move.
He said it has
Yeah.
to answer its own question.
Yeah.
So it's
I
not
know,
even a
but
human.
still.
He doesn't acknowledge it as a
Well,
human
no,
being.
I'm pretty sure it's not human. But it doesn't mean it's not a person. It doesn't mean it's not human. I would answer it if it had a question. Let me put it that way. But it
you
doesn't.
get the sense that it's asking the ultimate question.
That's
42.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you guys are saying, as all of a sudden, there's a sun rising where it shouldn't be rising.
I see this in a rearview mirror. It's faster, go faster,
All of a
faster.
sudden, the night sky is extremely black because the light pollution.
Esme's crying.
Now give me.
This brightness is making the astrocartography fucking impossible.
Yes.
I can't see a single star.
Give me an ethermancy roll
Okay.
against a red and 3 purple.
Sure.
And how exactly are you using your ethermancy to get you out of this?
He's just gonna calmly ask the bomb to spare him.
No, actually,
Be cool, bro. Be cool.
Like what I'm seeing is the bomb is kind of exploding, and we are getting an effect of the dark, half of it is like a weird dark light and half of it is a weird blue light, and I just want to be at the point of nullification between the two of them.
The rift, basically. Okay.
And what I want to happen is that I want the connection on the ship to start playing Rick Astley.
And again, you love never lets you down. You've been rickrolled.
What better use for a nuclear weapon than to rickroll?
In that case,
Never gonna
two
say.
red and two purple. Never, GM should never support rickroll.
Yeah, but he says that when I roll a despair, and it's just going to be that you guys are cursed to always hear the rickrolling for the rest of your
His
existence.
creation is like,
It's Rick Astley.
yeah, the creation starts singing it as well, you know.
Alright, we got some
We're no strangers
Kind
to
of glow in that
love.
song. Yeah, the
Yeah.
little- yeah.
A little sparkle, sparkle.
It takes the form of. It takes the
So
form of
do
Rick
I.
Astley.
You get a full commitment. Split up.
We got 2 successes and 4 advantage.
So you look at your creation, and you kind of step through him because he's between you and the explosion, because he's the personification of the explosion. As he just watches you as you step through him, and you feel this like total ether tingles. And you are looking right at the heart of the explosion, and you're seeing it just like vibrate but stay still, and you can tell it's on the molecular level, the ether level, the psychic level, it's on all these levels. And you're seeing the 2 parts, the hemispheres of this explosion, and you're walking right in between them. And immediately as you walk in there, what was your advantages?
4.
Anything special for your advantages besides not dying? Or the
Not
extra
dying.
maneuver to get in there?
Successful.
Not that I can think about.
Okay. As all of a sudden you step into the center of the explosion, and you feel every particle of your body evaporate, molecule by molecule by molecule. But you keep your shit. You don't scream or anything, and you're feeling yourself burn to nothing, and then your ether form burn to nothing.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
And then all of a sudden your psychic form burned to nothing. As all of a sudden all these explosions happen, and then you hear a crack. And then the explosion, you are part of the explosion as it explodes and just vaporizes for miles. There's clouds, and where you were standing, there's a small rip. That's
In your pants.
The pants are gone.
It's more than just 2 dimensions, you know, and it's this rip of pure ether.
Is it like stuck in space, or is it something that's
It's stuck in that exact location.
This is probably bad.
As all of a sudden you immediately snap to you being in this strange, foggy, milky place floating in the air, and you just feel yourself, and you feel ether everywhere. It's pea soup thick ether here, and you're just like,
Gross.
Yeah.
hello?
I'm imagining the color too.
It's in my pants.
Hello?
It's everywhere.
As you realize the ether's just landing on you and glowing when it's reacting with your corporeal form, and you realize you survived the explosion, but somehow you're in the ether.
You're inside the.
As all of a sudden, ominous, huge, moving shape in the distance.
And you hear just silently going away. Yeah, it was good.
And then all of a sudden the camera switches, it kind of like turns around from your perspective as you're seeing shapes to the weird rift of the ether. Looks almost like a TV screen of what you're seeing. And then the glowing form turns away and just walks off with smoking footprints
In the real world?
in the real world.
Shit!
Look what I did.
But it looks just like him.
Well, it looks like his uber glowiness form.
It's like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah,
Aaron.
but made of ether.
Okay, now what happened to his
Hair.
hair?
All of a sudden, in the glass jar on the ship, you guys are having this somber moment because you're feeling the air quakes of the ether hit, and you're seeing all these horrible clouds, and then all of a sudden everything like implodes after it finishes, and is like eerie sound, except for these like in the atmosphere you see these burn circles from the explosion, and you're holding, you guys are like somber moment. You're holding each other. You're totally heartbroken, and then all of a sudden. You kind of like all at once, like you've had your quiet, somber moment of silence for your lost Ethermancer, turn around,
Silent. Who's silent?
and it breaks the sobbing noise as that glass jar rolls off the counter and tinks on the floor, and you all pretty much in unison, manga style, all cut screen of your faces looking at the jar from different directions, and you notice that the hairs inside it are glowing.
Listen,
With
have
a bright-
light bulbs been invented yet?
Yes.
Could have used each filament of his hair. As you
Could've
see
made
his
solar
hair is
20 off that
glowing.
election.
But like glowing in an unusual way,
Yeah.
not like
Okay,
a normal way.
So I'm
that
gonna
glows.
ask these guys because they're, you know, my niece.
Yes.
So is he alive?
And that's fade to black.
So is he alive?
Is he alive? Fade to black. That's a good place to wrap it up there.
Only an hour and a half session.
So the question is, how is he gonna get out of the ether?
You guys.
He stayed behind to be blown up!
He's not getting out of the Aether. He's just gonna end up dragging all of us into it.
Dragging.
Dragging.
It's like
Am I wrong?
It's like you expect me to shoot tentacles out of the ether and grab my friends and bring them to me in another dimension so I can be friends with them in another dimension with tentacles.
Yeah.
Captain
Yes,
Tentacle.
that's precisely what I'm expecting from you.
I wonder, do you guys have diving suits?
I'm pretty
I can
sure you
rig
can
them up
rig
if
a
I'm giving some
ether
forewarning.
diving suit.
Make one.
Just saying.
All right, let's go through tonight's.
Let's recap.
This definitely needs to be saved permanently on Twitch Vive, and should be posted to the YouTube channel. This was a good session. This is the fourth session that I've taken notes on.
And they just keep doing that.
Do we want mutant angry mummies?
Who doesn't?
Yes. The pyramids start glowing. Oh no, the gold are pissed. I'd like to use my advantage to pull out a cigarette. I'll look at Peter and say, is that good for you? Do we have any enemies that would appreciate having an Aether bomb dropped on them? Appreciate. I'd like to show them the dark Aether consciousness of my mind palace. Oh no. Crevice in the earth, ocean, either way we get kaiju. Wait, we're near Transylvania. There's a vampire castle we can drop a nuke on and make angry with us. What happens if we drop a rock on it? Always a good one. What's so important to you that you can leave with us so we can contact you immediately?
See, I like the engineer says let's drop it from a high height, but the crazy Ivan says let's drop a rock on it from a high height.
Yeah. If he gets control, he'll absolutely pervert your plan. I know, because that's what I do.
See, that one was fresh.
It's an Aether projection of yourself. It mirrors your movements, trying to understand who you are and what it is. Would you fuck me? That fucked me so hard. Was it good for you? I'm gonna use the blast and the connection to start to the ship to start playing Rick Astley.
Or is it just bright?
I mean, it's a good change from session 3 that I took notes on, which was just, boy, that's a lot of tentacles in here. Like, I think I used the word tentacles at least 10 times in the notes for that one. Like the first,
Tentacles.
yeah. The first line is, I'm a cleric of fiery tentacles.
I'm just saying that I showed a lot of restraint for tentacling of this whole thing.
Honestly though, shooting someone with an arrow to heal them sounds like an HMO.
That does.
Does actually.
You found the person that's not buttered. You can't believe it. Don't worry, it's vegan. Alright, how fat were the prisoners? 12.
12.
What if we didn't have bones? We've come to a consensus that we don't want bones, right?
I remember when we came to that conclusion.
We did not at any point in time come to that conclusion.
I remember specifically when we came to the conclusion.
That's a lot of tentacles.
Because the concept was if you didn't have bones, you could
Oh, no,
survive
this
the crash.
is
That's
mine.
nice. Yes.
It's the new one that I made. I also made a flame.
Follow the
one
yellow
and-
float road.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Ah, the
I
bird's first
just have to
tentacle.
get more snaps.
With a protective coating of mucus.
I cannot believe that you ran out of snap.
Oh,
Yeah, I need-
snap.
4 sets for each.
I think it's a bomb. Of course it's a bomb. What else would it be?
And I made a smaller size.
And they're still weird? Well, weird.
Weirder.
Stupid psychic STDs.
Hey, you don't have a psychic STD anymore.
Right.
You're trapped in the ether, but you don't have an STD.
That happens to everybody
The
first
first
twice in their life.
I still really enjoy the notes from the first game I took notes on because it's like it starts out with underwater airship. Our airship doesn't have enough tentacles.
That's right.
Monkey dates. Dates aren't a beverage. And the DL. What's TL mean? That's loud. That's loud. Mechanical tentacle hentai. Borscht Stroganoff. Borscht Mocha. It's like the sound of a million